Hello, my friends. Happy solstice. I hope you can see the sparkling river on the other side of the road from us, and you'll see the occasional car too. Otters have taught me so much about joy, and we're going to be speaking about river otters today, not the ocean going otters. I spoke with an otter teacher, an otter avatar. One of the things he said was that otters return to their heaven with more acute memories than we do of the experience of Earth. And that way they can share it with each other. Now, this all happens at their species consciousness pool. And some of you who've been following me may understand that this is where the potential of each species is that surrounds the planet. The purpose of otters being in physical has so much to do with the sensuality, the sensual experience of being in a body. Although each of them might express it or feel it in their own personality, the choice of this planet or any planetary experience for otters has to do with the sensual experience. And that's why they carry the memory of this so keenly and so strongly in between lives. Otter families seek isolation from people. They shun any activity having to do with people. You know, we used to see a lot of otters in this river, and that's why we don't see them. Humans have nothing to offer otters, and also they remember in their racial memory humans hunting them. Otters can actually tell if there's a person nearby that does not have the intention of hurting them, but they won't show themselves willingly to humans. Otter said people have been out to destroy otters because they cannot stand the joy. The joyfulness in their species must drive humans to such jealousy that humans cannot endure seeing this joy. Otters are not cautious because they're fearful. They're cautious because humans literally have nothing to offer them and can destroy them. They have the memory of trapping. In their spiritual blueprint, they all have that memory. He started talking about the family structure of otters, which I found really fascinating. He was saying that there are many more male otters than there are female otters. The thing that is most important to otters here on the planet is reproduction. The breeding females are very protected by the males around them. And that is one of the reasons there are more males than females. Females can die during the birthing process or of infections. And so there is a group of males always in support of a female of breeding age. And it is the female that moves to different family groups for genetic diversity, not the males. He said, randomly, he said, yes, we do sing in the woods. I'm not sure why he said that, but they do call to each other. He showed me that they sing in the winter. Their vocalizations would never reach our ears because they are so isolated and their songs are not loud like the coyote. I then asked, is there anything that eats you? And he said, otters think so carefully about what they're doing. but there is occasionally a stranded or injured otter that is eaten by something in the coyote or wolf family. But they are not the main food supply for anyone. For one thing, there's not that many of them. And for the other thing, they're very careful about where they are and what they do. So they don't have the worry of other animals that are predated because their single largest predator is man. He said, of course, our tracks are visible in the winter. And I have to depart here from the meditation for a second because when we moved back to New Hampshire in 2000, we have a hayfield that's quite a hill that goes down to this river. And there were always otter slides at different times in the winter. And I don't know how to explain that, but if you took an otter body and when it sleds or kind of toboggans down the hill, it leaves a little indent, a little dent. And we used to see those all the time. He said, of course, in the summer, you'd never see tracks. In the summer, they work in and out of waterways, eating fish, frogs, and snakes. Then he started to talk about when otters establish dens. They establish their dens in banks or bankings. They dig into them to make homes, and they make a lot of dens all over the place. So they can move from one to the other to be near food supplies. So they are moving through the waterways, through the watersheds. These dens are supplied with grasses and herbs. These are things that they might need for healing in the wintertime. They provision their different sleeping dens for birthing. The most vulnerable time for otters is when the babies are too young to move. So they will supply that den, that really important den, with the herbs and the bedding they need. The males will bring her food, but most of the time, otters are very flexible where they choose to be. They're able to find enjoyment in their life. They travel widely in a 5 to 10 square mile area, but they don't make great long journeys. The family systems are set up to protect the maternal lines genetically. The female will be joined by a mate and a supportive family that is not related to her. So I wanted to get back to the word playfulness. And he said playfulness is our word. It is the way they live. They don't stop anything else in order to be playful and enjoy themselves. Otters enjoy providing their food and shelter. They don't focus on survival. They focus on experience. They want to experience every possible sensation here. They have a lighthearted approach, whether they're digging a burrow or fishing or choosing a mate or raising babies. There's no distinction between work and play. So say there was an individual otter that was not contributing or not beneficial or perhaps even detrimental to the reproduction of otters here. That, especially detrimental to the unborn. That behavior is counterproductive to the continuation of their species on the planet. That individual might be driven away from different otter groups. However, if anybody's behavior contributes to the survival of the otter families, that may be deemed as productive They don't have morality. They don't have good and evil. They say we can find good, we can find pleasure in extreme cold and extreme warmth. They don't focus on the negative aspects. They focus on the pleasure that is in their experience. They might acknowledge something that is less than terrific, but their goal is to experience everything with as much pleasure as they can. They don't judge if events are good or bad. There's always something salvageable about any situation or any experience. They don't seek out discouragement. They just assess whether it contributes to their experience or not. He said that 15 years is about the maximum lifespan of a healthy otter. There are parasites that attack the lining of their muscles, and sometimes they get bacterial infections. But the bacterial infections they can deal with because there is a very specific algae in different muds, certain types of muds, and they know about this. And so if they do get a cut or infection, most of the time they can access the type of mud that they need. If the wound is very bad, they will burrow into this mud and just stay there, and others will bring them food. They are never far from the healing mud. In the winter, it's not available, but in the winter, there isn't as much bacteria around anyway. So I asked, what other health problems do they have? He brought up the issue of birthing again. From time to time, a female may have a breech that she cannot pass or excessive bleeding after childbirth. And this is sadly fairly common. It is rare that any female has the potential of 6 pups in a litter survive. So usually there's one male that's considered the mate of the female, but there is perhaps a younger brother of that mate who would service the female if the primary mate was not around at the specific point of estrus. But the babies would always be considered the original mate's offspring. I thought that was really fun. And so the males are always in attendance of the female, and they help raise the babies. This is what's most important, is the opportunity for otters to come and play in physical. I wanted to describe river otters. Now, I've had several occasions to be with them. They're small, they're brown on top, they have a lighter color belly, and they are often in a group, and they are always joyous. One time, I was playing music down near a watershed back when we had those big CD players. And there was an immature male that came up out of the broken ice and chirped at me and then dove back down. Their time in physical is very precious. They knew that as they were coming in, that the time in physical is precious. They are acutely interested in experiencing all of the sensations when in a physical body. This otter teacher will continue to be in my dreams because I do dream with otters from time to time. And he also predicted that I would have a profound experience with otters. And that is what happened when the little one came up and chirped right to me. So I hope that brings you joy and maybe thoughts about how we live, the lessons that we can take from the otter. So on this solstice, I wish you joy, otter joy. And until I see you again, thanks for coming and please be blessed. You know, Zoom has changed stuff. And anyway, until I see you again, please be well and please be blessed.